Hello everyone, my name is Tushar and in this video we're gonna learn how to apply validations in an entry box in tkinter module. So first of all, what is an entry box? An entry box is generally a widget that allows us to enter any text values. So let's first of all, I have created an entry box here. So let me run this program and you're gonna see how an entry box generally looks like. This is an entry box, so I can enter any kind of values I want. As you can see, it could be character, it could be numeric, any values, any kind of special symbols, all are allowed in this entry box. Now I need to apply some validations. Now what is validation? Validation means when I press on any integer, that is to be allowed, but when I press any character values, as I have in this case, these need not to be shown in this entry box. This is what we need to do in this video. So first, for that, what we generally need is we need to apply validation. Validation generally involves three major steps. The first step is we need to make a callback function. Now what is a callback function? Callback function is generally a function that is to be called whenever we want to validate our text in the entry box. Now in our case we need to create a entry box that accepts only the numeric values. So in our case, the callback function would be called whenever any key of the keyboard is pressed. Then only we need to check that whether our input is correct or not. We do not need to involve any mouse click or such kind of stuff in this. So our validation would go only on keys of a keyboard. So second is the registering of the callback function. Now what I mean by registering, generally we need to create a function that is called the callback function, and the callback function would be called by the tkinter module, and the tkinter module doesn't call the function as we do in our program. Like this, I have called a main loop function. So this is not the case in with the tkinter module. We need to provide the tkinter module the specific format that is being used by the tkinter module to call any function. So for that we need to register that callback function. You will get more clear as we move on further. The third step is we need to give the option values, that is validate and validate command. The validate command will tell that when to validate. In our case it would be the keyboard keys. Whenever a keyboard key is pressed, we need to validate, and the validate command would tell that what function to call that that validates the data, and that function is the callback function respectively. Okay, now the first step is we need to create a callback function. So let me create a function, and let I name the function as correct. This is a function, and what this function do, it generally returns two values, that is true or false, that is a boolean value it returns. And whenever it returns a true value, the tkinter allows us to enter that character in the entry box, and whenever it returns false, the character would not be displayed in the entry box. So these are the two roles of this function. So in our case, whenever it is a numeric value, so what will the condition? And yeah, we need to pass on some input as well. So let my data be input inp, and I need to check if inp dot is digit sorry, my typing is too poor. If digit is it true, then it would return a true value, or else if this is not true, it would return a false. Fine. Now for a minute, let me comment it out. So let me, oh sorry, what is happening, the crabby shit. Yeah, now if I comment it out and gonna run this, this is an entry box, right? Now I need to place only this, but there would be a case when I erase this. This is also acceptable, right? So what is this case? In this case, my INP is equals to null. So this case needs to be considered as well. So what we do is, I uncomment all this, and we need to place on one more condition, if INP equals or INP is this, then also it would return a true value. So this is our three conditions, right? So whenever it returns true, that output can be displayed on the entry box, and whenever it returns false, that can't be displayed in the entry box. Now second step is to register the callback function, and the callback function is registered by it is stop in our case, by the register method. Register is generally a widget method, and we're gonna register this to our window. And which method we want to register? That is the correct method, right? So we're gonna pass it in as an argument, and it returns a string. So for holding the string, let me define a variable reg. This reg variable would contain the calling of the tkinter module. It would contain a string that is understandable by the tkinter module. So this is how we call and register a callback function. Now second last step is we need to give the option values. So in any widget we give the option values generally in the config method, that is also a widget method. So we need to give the callback values, option values. So first option values is validate, and this value generally tells that when to call the function, and in our case whenever a keyboard key is pressed, so we need to specify it. So key is generally a built-in value that tells the tkinter module that call the callback function, which is correct in our case whenever any key from the keyboard is being pressed. Second command is the validate command. This is second option value is the validate command option value, and this would tell that which function we need to call. We need to call the reg function, right? So we need to pass it in the tkinter format. So I passed an reg variable instead of directly passing correct. And second, I need to pass on the input, that my string. So for string I have a general parameter %p. I will tell you what %t generally specifies. And now this is our function ready. So if I run this program, you can see if now I try to enter any number, it is possible, but if I try to enter any character, it is not allowing me to. Now how this function is, or how this program is working, let me explain this. First of all, whenever I pressed any key, let's say I pressed 1, so what happens generally, the 1 goes to the %p, and %p is being received in input. So let me write this. INP value becomes generally 1 when I press 1. 1 goes in the function. 1.isDigit, it returns a true value, so it is returned here. And whenever the validate command is equals to true, then the tkinter allows us to enter that value in the entry box. So the 1 is being displayed. Whenever I try to enter a character, then it returns a false value, and in this case, whenever a false value is returned, the tkinter module won't allow us to display that section in the entry box. You can get a more clear idea if I print all the values. If I print INP here, and I copy this and I paste it here as well, and I paste it here as well. Now what is generally going on, you will get a more better idea. Whenever I press 1, it generally INP value have 1 in it. So 1 is being printed because it is being allowed. In this case, it returns a true value. Whenever I press A, INP value would hold 1A. You can check the code side by side as well. Wait a second. Yeah, now you can, I think, yeah, it's clear now. It returns an A value whenever it being entered. Now it returns a false value. Okay, so whenever a false value is returned, the tkinter module doesn't allow us to do. Whenever I try to place any number, it is possible. Whenever try to press any character value, it won't allow us to. And %p is generally a specifier that generally holds the string, that is if we press the character. Now if I press a backspace key, then what would be the result? It would be 1. So the 1 would be in INP variable. So this is our program. There are certain more specifiers as well. So we need to pass in as an argument simply. So one argument is %v, yeah, %v. So one argument is %v. I need to specify in semicolons. Wait a second. Yeah, this is %v. So I am receiving this %v. Now %v will tell us what is the value of the validate option, that is key in our case. So if I gonna print this here, instead of input I gonna print this %v value, let it be v. I need to receive it as well. So yeah, if I print v, it would contain the value of key. So check here, whenever I press any numeric value, it would print a key in the console. I think now it's a better idea. There are furthermore percent specifiers as well, and the values of validate option value, and I gonna put them in the description. You can check and try it on your own. So this is the basic functioning of the validation that we can apply in the tkinter module. Thanks for watching, and please comment in the comment section if you have any queries. If you like my video, please like it and do subscribe my channel for more videos. And thanks and have a nice day.